Hello.
Bitch. A nasty, vile gutter sniper. Right up out the hood.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new here, I am Lance. If you return, welcome back to the channel. I wouldn't say welcome back to the Reactor Spotlight. This is not a Reactor Spotlight video. Just recently, I just dropped a video about Starfleet Academy video, and I did a remix of two channels by J Longbone.
No, God!
J Longbone, yeah. And
What?
Bowlestrek
Is here to set Toxic Timmy straight. Luckily, what the hell Picardo steps in before She-Hulk's kid and Brittany get their asses kicked all over the corridor by Toxic Timmy. Then we learn that Brittany, the shame of Kronos, likes watching birds. Oh, Worf, I am so sorry, dude.
I'm receiving reports that everyone's catecholamine levels are spiking. Whatever you're doing, stop it.
You're a fucking doctor. Why are you the one breaking up fights in the hallway?
They can't afford anybody else.
I watch birds.
I like turtles.
I watch birds.
Keep that to yourself, bro.
Guys, enjoy it. We'll continue on with a couple more episodes. Here we go.
We begin with fall semester. Oh, goody. Can't wait. Captain Marbles. Actually, I refuse to believe that this person is a captain or chancellor of anything. Therefore, henceforth, this person shall be known only as Mumbles. Mumbles builds on last week's fascinating lecture by telling us about the importance of making your bed. Does that include after all the irritating juvenile banging going on? Because I ain't going anywhere near those sheets. Then she says, you must get to class on time. Now, Mumbles, are you aware that like half of this age group claims to have time blindness, along with a couple other dozen self-diagnosed conditions that are used as an excuse for being lazy as hell and a complete twat? Somebody gonna lodge a complaint for unfair treatment, Missy. Then Mumbles continues rambling on, trying to inspire our Zoomers while leaning over the rail like a no-good ruffian. Next, what the hell Picardo is teaching She-Hulk's degenerate kid and a dude that's stoned out of his tree some science stuff. The degenerate tells the stoner to never stand next to him again. Whatever you say, dude, at least he didn't have to be restrained like Hannibal Lecter last week. And man, they are a jumpy bunch, aren't they? So, once again, these are the best people you could come up with. I mean, I know generations seem to be getting weaker with time, but come on! At least the Heftygram is having a good time, while the young lady beside her tries to decide which of the 5 sexually appealing males on campus she wants to bang tonight. Then we cut back to more of Mumbles yapping, but I'm distracted because I've invented a new game. Kind of a modern Where's Waldo. In this instance, the game is find the white dude. If you can find more than one, congrats, you get a cookie. Next, as a Vulcan, or a supposed Vulcan, has been shamed into appearing in the series, we get some...
Like a modern day Where's Waldo? Find the white dude. If you find more than one, you get a cookie. This guy is so funny from the first video. He just has these, I love his nicknames he gives these people, and just the way he delivers the thing. It's almost like a game show. I don't know, the way he's just, oh, I wish I could deliver shit like that. It's just, it's just the nicknames, the sarcasm. The underlying sarcasm. Oh, goody. It's just like, you can just hear that sarcasm. Oh, goody. I can't wait for this storyline to go down. Like, this is the reason why I wanted to keep on reacting to this with you guys. I was like, I had to highlight this guy because this guy is funny.
Some dramatic tension between the degenerate and Toxic Timmy. The degenerate tells Toxic Timmy that he has a small peepee. Yep, that's the riveting kind of dramatic tension we all came here for. Also, apparently, they are sharing their shame with the War College. Yep, so intimidating. Now it's time for Plumpy to teach our scrappy young cadets some fighting techniques. This young lady is yet another example of best person for the job. Man, so many best persons for the job. But unfortunately, Plumpy yelled at her because Plumpy's mad because somebody ate Plumpy's last donut. This warrior in training doesn't like Plumpy being mean and literally runs off and quits. Well, if nothing else, at least she's escaped the show. Run! Run! Run like the wind! Then we cut back to more yammering from Mumbles, and here's a Ferengi that also seems to be baked out of his skull. Also,
I'm sorry. Every time he puts on Holly Hunter, it looks like a little beaver. That little face. Poor Holly Hunter, I have to give it to you, girl. Oh, Jesus.
what the hell is this? Then we get some riveting banter between the degenerate, the hefty Graham.
Oh, no. We gotta go back for a second. Come on. What the is this the thing from Fantastic Four?
Is this? Then we get some riveting banter between the degenerate, the hefty Graham, and Brittany, the shame of Kronos. Brittany is thinking about getting a pretty new dress. You go, girl. Then they get the room assignment, and the degenerate and girl boss Genesis are worried that having roommates will interfere with their various bang time activities. Then we have some more sexually infused banter, and I wonder if sticking my head in the microwave might be an optimal activity to avoid continuing with this episode. Also, I have a feeling that girl boss Genesis gets around a lot, and those 5 dudes on campus are going to be plenty tired, and those boots look ridiculous. Girl boss Genesis tells the degenerate not to hook up with anyone for 6 months. Advice I'm sure she's not taking herself. That way he'll be able to find out who's a complete psycho. Sage advice, really. Advice he shall not be taking, as we find out later in the episode. Then, oh dear, the degenerate is sharing a room with Toxic Timmy. Oh no, think of all the dramatic storylines that nobody who isn't a complete moron couldn't give a Zoomer's crap about. Next, Plumpy and Mumbles are trying to get away from what the hell Picardo. Understandable, he is the only white dude on this show, other than Toxic Timmy we've seen so far, and they could only allow Toxic Timmy to appear because he actually looks like whatever the hell this is supposed to be. Apparently, our plot involves bringing the Betazoids back into the Federation, after they left because the Federation were being a bunch of dicks. I wish you luck. Why in the name of hell would anybody want to join this train wreck? But in keeping with this show's priorities, they have to deal with the spat between the degenerate and Toxic Timmy. The degenerate gets pissy with Captain Mumbles because she isn't finding mommy fast enough. Imagine being in the military and yelling at your commanding officer because you can't find your mommy. Use your imagination to find out how that would turn out. Luckily for the degenerate, Captain Mumbles is an unintelligible idiot. Also, it seems the Betazoids are bringing their youth delegation to help negotiate. Of course they are. Because if you're over 25 on this show, then you're a big stupid head. Next, we are introduced to Mr. Shooty Pants from the War College, who chastises Captain Mumbles for dressing like a complete idiot. He also tells her she's being an idiot for bringing children to the negotiations. Careful, Mr. Shooty Pants. That kind of talk will get you shot out of an airlock on this show. Then, our barefooted Captain Mumbles picks up a random abandoned coffee cup.
Why does she look like a coffee barista for? I noticed that they had the full-length picture. She's barefoot, by the way. But she looks like a barista. Like, you're supposed to be the captain, right, of this... A captain like, Jean-Luc Picard and William Shatner. I can't remember who William Shatner's character's name was, but it's William Shatner. He's the captain, and you got barista captain over here. Like, she's supposed to be a captain, right? Not the waitress of the Starfleet Academy. That's what she looks like. It's the waitress. You take the orders for her. She takes the orders. You know what I'm saying?
And just starts drinking because she's so quirky. Next, Tig Notaro returns because, let's face it, this is the only job Tig Notaro can get these days. At least she gets to put the degenerate and Toxic Timmy in their places because they're just nasty, smelly boys. Then the hefty Graham spills some splooge all over the degenerate. Oh dear, what a pickle. What a pickle indeed. Then this hollow person shows up and showers the degenerate in spunk. Please just stop. Then our spunk-covered degenerate is walking out of bounds because he's such a rebel, yo. Then he manages to outsmart our hollow person by asking it to list coffees, and it basically blows up, meaning it was most definitely programmed by more of the best persons for the job. Then our degenerate scales a wall and runs into Dylan Mulvaney. And get there. Unfortunately, this version of Dylan is actually a female. And since straight relationships are generally frowned upon in this timeline, we're going to have to refer to her as Cootie Pants Dylan going going forward as a warning to all the youngsters out there. At least they're keeping Zoomer traditions alive, meaning that Cootie Pants Dylan is only interested in degenerate criminals. Then these mean dudes come in to ruin the degenerates' fun. How sad. Next, the Beta Z leader comes in to meet with our diverse children because only children have the experience required to negotiate because old people are stupid. Also, our Beta Z leader has to communicate using sign language because apparently 1,000 years in the future, they still haven't found a solution for hearing loss. Maybe you should start hiring a few less best persons for the job. Commander-in-Chief Wimpy starts laying out his proposal, but the Beta Z leader is having none of his baloney. Then everything comes to a halt as the degenerate is brought in, covered in spunk, and then proceeds to interrupt what I would argue are rather important and sensitive negotiations by playing with his zipper. Once again, I must make clear that they actually wrote this scene. Good Lord! Maybe you should have listened to General Shooty Pants. And of course, Cootie Pants Dylan is turned on by this behavior. And also, of course, Cootie Pants Dylan and her brother, Dirty White Devil number 2, henceforth to be known as Baby Pants, are the kids of the Betazoid leader. Nepotism for everyone, yo! Figures that's the only way an individual...
Dirty White Devil number 2. I love the most sinister looking pose ever. Dirty White Devil number 2.
Of Baby Pants' particular demographic managed to get himself on the show. Cootie Pants Dylan says she wants the degenerate to give her a tour because morons are so attractive in current year. I'll bet she'll be getting more than just a tour. The degenerate uses this as an opportunity to bark orders at Mumbles while spilling bits of apple all over the floor. Oh yeah, and when the degenerate throws his apple into the garbage can, it literally starts playing the Star Trek theme song! Yet another thing I didn't make up. Next, we are treated to an extended mating ritual between the degenerate and Cootie Pants Dylan, and I start to wonder how much damage a power drill might do to my head. Oh, and they drag those poor humpback whales into this dumpster fire. Everybody, pray for the poor whales. Then Cootie Pants Dylan accesses the Beta Z star charts so our degenerate can find his mommy because rules are for stupid old people. Next, Commander-in-Chief Wimpy and the children of Aren't We So Awesome are doing a terrible job of negotiations, and the Beta Z leader has nearly had enough of their crap. Then, the degenerate and Cootie Pants Dylan head off to visit our poor humpback whales, and we are heartbroken to hear the whales cry of shame. Then the degenerate and Cootie Pants Dylan have some kissy time, and the adults are not impressed at this display of blatant heterosexuality. Not impressed at all. The degenerate tells Mumbles that he's found out some information about his missing mommy, but Mumbles is having none of it and tells the degenerate that not everything is about him. Gee, Mumbles, that's not the message you've been sending to the degenerates so far. Meanwhile, the cry of the humiliated whales in the background breaks everyone's hearts. Next, as if things can't get any worse, What the Hell Picardo starts singing opera while General Shooty Pants gives a look of disapproval towards the degenerate and Brittany the shame of Kronos. And why has the Beta Z leader allowed his daughter to dress so slutty? Man, what's been going on your planet for the past century? The degenerate can't hide his lustful thoughts, and now even Brittany is disgusted with him. Meanwhile, Plumpy and unemployable Tignataro are disgusted by the Beta Z ambassador for being judgy, and they want you to know that they think that he's a big poopy head. And Toxic Timmy starts to get touchy. And, please just kill me now. And Genesis is getting jealous of Cootie Pants Dylan. So much drama! How exciting! Also, Baby Pants expresses his approval towards the degenerate. Everybody wants bang time with the degenerate. Better start that sign-up sheet. Next, we learn that Cootie Pants Dylan has a neural inhibitor because she's basically batshit. I sense many a late-night call for Starfleet security a-comin'. We see our first example when the degenerate tells Cootie Pants Dylan about his mommy's searching plan, after which she turns into a complete psycho. Then they break up. Oh no! Next, the Beta Z leader is wondering why Mumbles allowed a degenerate criminal into the academy. Why is this dude the only person on the show that has any degree of common sense? Also, he's boinking your daughter, dude. do something! He then makes the smart decision of not joining the Federation because Beta Z actually has standards. Unlike Mumble's school for special children, Commander-in-Chief
Special
Wimpy
children.
is not impressed. Then Mumbles gives the Degenerate another speech about how awesome he is. Then Cootie Pants Dylan and the Degenerate bond over how terrible the Federation is, and just like that, they're back together. Any more of this excitement and I might explode. And of course, the Beta Z leader loses everyone's respect and decides to join the Federation, all because of the power of love. Then Baby Pants joins
power of
Starfleet
love.
Academy, and Cootie Pants Dylan joins the War College because she's secretly based, and Baby Pants and Toxic Timmy might be in love. Oh, and the Degenerate is now one step closer to finding his mommy.
Oh,
And
good
that's
for
it
him.
for today. Got worse! It actually got worse! This can't be serious. You people are just trolling at this point. You have to be. That's quite the strategy. Let's see how this works out for them. We start by hanging out with our scrappy cadets who seem to be a bunch of slovenly pigs. Shouldn't they have robots to clean up messes like this by now? Oh wait, I forgot. Everything is designed by the best persons for the job in the future,
The
meaning
best
that the
person
cleaning
for the job.
robot probably blew up. We start with Toxic Timmy, who is about to start his day. The Degenerate is still passed out. Such is the norm for degenerates. Quite the little go-getter our Toxic Timmy is. The Degenerate is not impressed with Toxic Timmy's early morning activities. Not impressed in the slightest. But then, oh dear, it seems Girl Boss Genesis is outdoing Toxic Timmy because girl bosses are awesome and better than Toxic Timmys at everything. We know this because they told us so. Girl Boss Genesis is
told us
usually up
so.
at 3:30 in the morning. Man, how does she fit all of this in with her bang time activities? Toxic Timmy feels more inadequate than usual this morning. Then it's gym time. Oh, this should be exciting. Plumpy's giving orders to our scrappy cadets because, let's face it, Plumpy can only give orders. After all those donuts, Plumpy couldn't sprint halfway across the gymnasium without requiring oxygen. Such an inspiring leader. Girl Boss Genesis outsprints Toxic Timmy because of course she does. Brittany, the shame of Kronos, is about to cry, and Baby Pants is thinking that he might have made the wrong decision. Not to worry though, the Degenerate beat the oppressive white dude from the War College at rope climbing. Take that, you evil patriarchal bastard! The War Kids are not happy with the Degenerate. Then, oh dear, the Degenerate's ex of 5 minutes, the female Dylan Mulvaney, which we refer to as Cootie Pants Dylan, is there too. Then we get some sexually infused banter, because at the top of every Star Trek fan's list of things they want to see in a Star Trek series.
Hold on, sorry. I love that. It does look like Dylan Mulvaney. That's what Dylan Mulvaney wish, whatever that Dylan, that's what he wishes he looked like, basically. Because that's what a real woman looks like. He wishes that's what he thinks he looks like, this chick right here. Oh, that's hilarious. The female Dylan Mulvaney, that's my God.
Trek fans' list of things they want to see in a Star Trek series is sexy time with Zoomers! Better make sure the female Zoomers approve of the male Zoomers, which, by current estimates, as previously stated, is about 5 male cadets at this college. If any
5.
other male Zoomers so much as glance in the direction of one of our many horny girl bosses, it's cancellation and probably jail time. Luckily, Plumpy puts an end to the mating ritual, and we can now get on with our lives. Next, we get reminded of how awesome Girl Boss Genesis is. Oh, and Girl Boss Genesis is also an admiral's daughter. And with that, the very concept of meritocracy walks into the corner, falls over, and dies. Oh, and Girl Boss Genesis has daddy issues too. Well, color me shocked. A girl boss with daddy issues? Tell me it isn't so. Dads are nothing but big poopy heads on this show. Girl Boss Genesis has already declared herself a captain. You go, girl, and suck it, Toxic Timmy. How dare you try to earn anything in life? Now off to the corner with you so you can hang out with the rotting corpse of meritocracy. And Brittany is sad because he got yelled at by Plumpy. Then the War Kids hit...
You can go in and hang out with the rotting corpse of meritocracy.
Degenerate with a ball and then proceed to make fun of our diverse heroes. Then the Degenerate decides that stepping up to somebody his own size isn't worth the risk because Cootie Pants Dylan will not be impressed if he takes on somebody his own size because he'll get his ass kicked, so he starts yelling at what I'm guessing is supposed to be either a short Romulan or a leprechaun. He tells it must feel inadequate. No, that's too easy. Our hero, folks! Luckily, Girl Boss Genesis steps in to save the Degenerate from getting his ass kicked by the leprechaun. Genesis thinks the War Kids are overcompensating. Well, if anybody would know, it's you. This Vulcan then proceeds to tell them they are losers. I kind of like this guy. Then Baby Pants decides to step up, and everybody on both sides tries to hold in their laughter. In true Baby Pants fashion, he says that Brittany is going to beat them up. Then Brittany starts to get scared. Not joking. He actually shakes his head in fear. Then Plumpy returns from eating the box of donuts she had on standby in case she got peckish and puts an end to all this nonsense. Next, it seems they have co-ed change rooms. Do not walk on that floor without flip-flops. Advice Genesis does not follow because, well, she's well past worrying what kind of nasty stuff is on that floor. Toxic Timmy says he's banged a bunch of ladies, and Genesis is not impressed in the slightest. Then they all get transported out of the change room, and Tignataro is not impressed.
Wait, but hold on. That one chick is supposed to be a hologram. Why does she have to take a shower if she's a hologram? That's interesting. Because that sounds like, if she's a hologram, why does she have to be in the shower room? Like she's like in a bathing suit too. Like, it makes no sense.
Out of the change room, and Tignataro is not impressed at the sight of the degenerate's Winky, because if there's one thing Tignataro doesn't approve of, it's Winkies. Then Winkies just start appearing everywhere, but it's just another day for girl boss Genesis. Then we learn that it was the cool Vulcan and the leprechaun behind all the shenanigans. Oh, you silly little Zoomers. Also, doesn't exposing somebody's Winky imply some sort of harassment? Or does one have to approve of the Winky in the first place? Somebody ask Genesis. She'll be able to clear this up. Then, in appropriate 32nd, or whatever century this is fashion, the leprechaun flips them the bird. Then we are treated to an ad for this kindergarten school for special outcasts, and it seems that they forgot to add the words Lee and impaired under Mumbles. The physical part's okay, Genesis takes care of that. Then we cut to present-time Mumbles, who's being as authoritative as usual, and Plumpy tells her that the children are fighting. Oh no! I would think that Mumbles would want to do something about the non-consensual forced nakedness on her campus, but what do I know? I've given up trying to understand these people. Then she decides she's fine with all the hostilities going on under her watch. Man, you really suck at your job, don't you? Plumpy's so disgusted that she's going to need at least 2 boxes of donuts to cheer herself up. Then our scrappy heroes take their legitimate complaints to Mumbles, and the Heftygram is not happy that she was forced to take a bath for the first time. Well, thank God you're just a hologram. Mumbles comes up with a diabolical plan. Basically, as we shall see later, she's going to able and abet attempted murder. And good Lord, I just can't with this woman. Even Toxic Timmy is starting to question her competence as leader. Then the plant starts talking to Toxic Timmy. I know, dude, best just to go with it. It's not going to get any better. Then we find out that Mumbles was an annoying little brat when she was a cadet. Why? You don't say! And of course, Brittany, the shame of Kronos, being the complete and utter disappointment he is, doesn't want to participate in any violence, but then girl boss Genesis bullies him into taking part. Worf wanted to remind everyone that he is thoroughly disgusted. Meanwhile, Toxic Timmy is being creepy, and the Heftygram is trying to eat the plant food. Only the best and brightest here, folks. Girl boss Genesis convinces the degenerate to join in on the violence because this will be the perfect opportunity for him to get back into the good graces of Cootie Pants Dylan. Next, Plumpy is yelling at our scrappy Zoomers to finish their game quickly so she can get back to her box of donuts. Which of our Zoomers is going to make the team? Let me pretend to care. Then, unemployable Tignataro steps in to help coach because she'll take any job she can get. Then Baby Pants gets lippy, and Plumpy sentences him to 100 push-ups. Then we cut to the violence, and the Heftygram is not having a good time. She's a hologram amongst other things, and physical activity is not really her thing. Plumpy says that only 8 of our Zoomers will make the team, and the rest will live in shame. Wait, you mean they aren't already? You mean it can get worse? Good Lord, Plumpy. Then our Zoomers start to poop themselves while being shot at by drones, which will be the least pathetic, but still pathetic, of our scrappy Zoomers to make the team. Who cares? Even Tignataro doesn't care. She's just here for the paycheck. Then, while Brittany and the degenerate are discussing pies, the degenerate runs into Cootie Pants Dylan, and we are forced to listen to several minutes of annoying Zoomer pickup banter while I wonder how much damage a bus can do to oneself, as this scene has me tempted to go for a walk in the middle of the road.
One thing I do notice, the really bright lighting in a lot of these shots, is that what makes it futuristic when you have those really high, like this, you get the morning sun break, like that really high, like, you notice that in the background, the lighting, it's really flashy and bright and stuff like that. Like, like oversaturated, even like a little bit too much, like very heavy-handed with the lighting. It's crazy.
And Brittany tries to make friends with the war kids. They make fun of him, and Brittany starts to cry. Also, watch out. Cootie Pants Dylan is about to snap. Then, the least pathetic of our Zoomers make the team, and Baby Pants gets to be a furry, and unemployable Tignataro tries comedy again and fails miserably. What fun! And it looks like Toxic Timmy is our team captain, and Girl Boss Genesis is not impressed. Then our war kids start to make fun of our scrappy Zoomers. How embarrassing! Then Mumbles visits General Shooty Pants and tells him that his war kids are being mean to our scrappy Zoomers, while once again looking as imposing as ever. Meanwhile, our scrappy Zoomers realize,
why is it me? Where is it? Let's go back here for a second.
Zoomers, well, once
this chick right here, Holly Hunter. And this is not just in this video. I've seen a lot of images with her. She's laying down a lot. Girl, like this is another scene. Like she's just like laying down. She's just laying down. She laid down and like it's like she's going through. It's like when I was like going through drug with, like when I was getting off opiates and shit. And all I want to do is just lay and sleep and just lay, and I couldn't do anything. I just want to lay down all the time. Are you good, girl? Are you going through some shit? Are you going through withdrawals or some shit? Like, why are you laying down all the damn time, Captain? My captain.
Again, looking as imposing as ever. Meanwhile, our scrappy Zoomers realize that they're pretty much screwed, and the Degenerate and Toxic Timmy have another lover's spat, and Girl Boss Genesis is mad because Toxic Timmy used her daddy issues against her. Oh no! Then, our scrappy Zoomers are about to get their asses handed to them by the war kids as Baby Pants puts on his furry costume. Also, Girl Boss Genesis stops pouting, joins the game, and gets herself disqualified after 15 seconds. You go, girl! And the Degenerate disqualifies Cootie Pants Dylan. Yeah, that will get you into her cootie pants, dude! Then, Toxic Timmy and Girl Boss Genesis start arguing over who is the most awesome. Then our scrappy Zoomers resort to cheating, and we all find ourselves very disappointed in the war kids as they somehow lose a round to these people. And Toxic Timmy is sad that Girl Boss Genesis came up with the cheating idea. Then Plumpy and unemployable Tignataro start to yell at our scrappy Zoomers. Then our Zoomers are called into a meeting with Mumbles, whose air of authority is just breathtaking, especially as she tries to lay down the law to our Zoomers while dressed in her jammies. Mumbles' advice will lead to some of the war kids getting killed by screaming death plants, but that doesn't really matter because basic morality appears to be little more than a suggestion on this show. Also, apparently, Plumpy and unemployable Tignataro are banging, because of course they are. And Toxic Timmy also has mommy and daddy issues. Lesson of the week: mommies and daddies suck because, once again, old people are a bunch of stupid heads. Also, while planting the death plants as part of their murder plot against the war kids, Toxic Timmy had to trick Mr. Shooty Pants into giving up his DNA so they could break into the war kids' dorm with his cloned eyeball by hugging him, and I'm not sure if Mr. Shooty Pants is just disgusted or about to go shooty in his pants. This is Starfleet Academy after all, and such things are never entirely clear. But, oh no, their plot might be foiled by Cootie Pants.
I don't know if he's disgusted or he's gonna go shooting in his pants. Come on now, that shit.
It's Dylan as she catches the Degenerate in his own furry costume. Time for another lover spat. My God, I hate this show. And then the war kids have a very bad day as the death plants kill a bunch of them, and our Zoomers could not be more pleased with themselves because murder is fun, yo. The leprechaun is not happy, and neither is Mr. Shooty Pants, while Plumpy and Mumbles seem to approve of the likely deaths of several war kids. We finish off with Mumbles once again being a lazy sloth, and Plumpy is no longer impressed. But don't worry, she'll be fine when she gets her next box of donuts. What fun is in store next week? I'm sure it will be as much fun as an ice pick up the hoo-ha. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe.
Watch the first episode when they had it on YouTube. You can watch it free. You know, I don't think I made it into like 15 minutes. I was like, it gave me. Someone put it in a good way. it gave CW vibes. And I was like, oh my God, because I couldn't figure out, like, when someone said CW, I think it was on Twitter, I was like, holy shit, yeah. You hit it right on the nail. When I remember CW being just like a barely mid-tier type of show, just barely mid-tier, like, like, bitch, like, they were like the C students of like film schools. You know, they were like, they're not the valedictorians. They're not going to be making the blockbuster, writing movies, directing movies. No, they're like, you know, CW, Hallmark Channel, Lifetime, stuff like that. Just, you know, it's adequate. You know, something while you're still scrolling, but you can hear it on the background, that type of thing, like Netflix. Anyway, I enjoy this guy. He really makes me laugh. Like I said, I love his little nicknames he gives everybody, and just like the quick rundown. And he's roasting the shit out of Holly Hunter. With every time I see Holly Hunter's picture on here, it's always. But why is she laying down so damn? It's like she's like going through withdrawals or something. It's like I'm watching like an old Florida chick going through withdrawals from meth or some shit like that. She has to lie down because she's just, you know, going through dope sickness and shit. Like, that's what it gives me when every time I. But I don't know. I hope this. Please like and subscribe. Please like the video and stuff like that. I really enjoyed these. I thought they were kind of just fun and just kind of like chat some shit. Let's chat some shit. And I thought he was just funny. I think this guy's just really funny. And I just kind of happened to come upon this guy when I was like making supper. Like I usually have something on in the background while I make supper. And I was just like, there was not much. It was like, there's all, news of course, news. I was like, I'm not watching news. I wanted something to relax to when I want to make supper. Lighthearted, if you will. Like sometimes I'll even put on some episodes of Mama's Family or something like that. Just something, something just really lighthearted. Like, remember Mama's Family? Oh, don't even get me started. I love this. Mama's Family. Not the first two seasons. Season 3 is when they had Bubba, Iola, Naomi, and Vint became stupid because the first 2 seasons they made him like a straight man. Like, he was not funny. But in the 3rd season, they dumbed him down like he got hit on his head and he was funny. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, we're talking about this show and the horrendousness of this show. And because they spend so much goddamn money, it's ridiculous. It makes me wonder, there's like money laundering behind it, allegedly. Definitely wokeness going on with this show. Like, the Hollywood propaganda. It's ridiculous. I just killing everybody's like just loves, I'm just waiting for them to kill Fallout show. Like, I know already there's some people already, have their hate for Fallout. It's not like, they always have some bullshit because, there's always going to be haters everywhere. But it sucks though, because when you have, like when they killed Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan and you have nostalgia from your childhood watching Star Wars for the very first time and all that, and then you are an adult and you still have that nostalgia, and you see the studio just step on your nostalgia, it's just kind of like, wow, man, what the fuck? Star Trek, there's Trekkies and Star Wars people and Marvel people, like people who love Marvel, and the Transformers, like they always kill everything. It always starts out kind of decent and then they kill it. They're going to do that with Fallout. I just guarantee it. The first 2 seasons I loved. They're already going greenlit for a 3rd season. Hopefully they continue for at least maybe 2 more seasons, and then you can ruin it. Maybe don't ruin it all. Let's just say that. But I feel bad for everybody who, if you have like a certain thing that you love, you're like, oh my god, so good, you know. You talk fondly about it. And you see it like Doctor Who. That's another one. There's another one that they just killed, Doctor Who. I never was a big Doctor Who fan. I never really watched it. By family members, I have a couple of friends who love Doctor Who. After what they did with the last season, they just like they stopped watching after the third episode. They're like, no, what the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, and they get mad at the fans. The creators and the actors get mad at the fans. You're the one who made the dog pile shit. Don't be mad at the fans. You made that dog pile shit. Don't blame the fans. The fans didn't make that dog pile shit. You guys made that dog pile shit and ruined it. You already have the blueprint and the foundation of what the fans like. What you're trying to do is inject a new kind of for the modern audience. Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. We already see how that's going. It's dying. That bullshit was hot and heavy in 2020 and 21 and 2022. But this is 2026 now. People are not dealing with that bullshit anymore. And thank God. It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight. All this bullshit. They have to clean it up. Start anew. Get all these idiots out of here and just start fresh. Flush them out and get some new people with some writing talent and with some good storytelling. Instead of just having some propaganda, you're just trying to, current day us and shit. Kiss my ass. I look. When I want to watch some of these shows, I want to get away from all that fucking political shit. Just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. But no, you want to inject into our fucking shows too. So go suck a dick. That's why I say to Hollywood, go suck a dick. But you guys are good at that. Because that's how half your actors and everybody, that's how that's your currency, is blowjobs. That's what I assume. That's the currency in Hollywood, is blowing everybody. Anyway, let me know in the comments. And please like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other.